Welcome back to the session. We have seen how the nested loops work, and also we have seen how how internally for loop, outer loop, and also the inner loop is going to work. Now we are going to check with the patterns. Okay. So today's session we will be focusing more on the patterns. So what kind of patterns we are focusing is, for suppose if at all the number of rows and the number of columns are equal and equally it has to print a pattern. It may be an asterisk symbol, it may be an hashtag symbol, it may be letters or it may be numbers, whatever it may be. So we have to print the equal number of rows and equal number of columns. Here we are seeing three number of rows. This is one row, second row, third row, and like that, first column, second column, and third column. So like that, we are going to print equally three rows and three columns with a pattern named asterisk. So here we are going to check here these topics and also here, okay, let us open the IDLE. So this is my IDLE which I have opened. Now for suppose I have considered the rows, okay. So rows I can take it as directly as 5 or 3 or whatever the number of rows may be. I have considered the number of rows as 3 and now we are going to write for I in range. So for I in range, so from starting first row, I want to take, so the counting will be easy for us. So that is the reason I have taken the first row and the rows plus 1. So why rows plus 1? Rows plus 1 means, so 3 plus 1, the range will be, so I told you now means 3 plus 1. That means that 1 comma 3 plus 1 means 4. So the range will be in between 1 comma 4. So means first row, second row, and third row will be considered because 4 will be excluded when we are considering the range. So the 4 will be excluded. So from 1 to 3, it is going to consider. So this will be repeated how many number of times? 3 number of times. So we are going to consider that 3 number of times here, as well as we are going to consider for 2 loops, right? Because internal for loop and external for loop, both things we have to consider, means outer and inner, both things we have to consider. So if we are considering the same range, because we want to get both columns and rows to be printed equally. That's the reason. So whatever the pattern we are giving here, this pattern is given with asterisk symbol. So that is the reason we are giving asterisk symbol. So and is equal to, why we are giving this and is equal to, because in order to get the spaces. So what are those spaces that we are having? So the spaces are here, you see. So here we are having asterisk, some space is there, asterisk, some space is there. In order to get such kind of thing, we are going to write here and is equal to space, some space. Within the quotes, we have to give the space. And after the inner for loop, we have to give print and an empty print we have to give, because it has to be starting from, if after the J loop is executing, means after the inner loop is executing, it has to give one more line space, okay, and then print the next iteration, means first 3 has to be printed. After that, in another line, it has to print the next 3 stars, and next after that another line, it has to print the next 3 stars. For that reason, we are giving this print again inside the outer for loop. This is inside the outer for loop. Now let us run this. Let us run this code so that we will be now computing the entire program with the equal number of rows. So I am saving rows and columns. I am saving it with the iterations.py is my file name. So after iterations.py, I am running this file. After running this file, now let us see what the output I got. The output I got is, see. So 3 rows and 3 columns printed with the symbol asterisk. Now if I want to change the symbol, or suppose instead of asterisk, I want to give some hashtag. Okay, now I am running this. So in order, after running this, I am getting this particular hashtags. But suppose if I want to run some other one, that is capital A, and I have to run this. So I will be getting capital A. So instead of that, if I want 5 rows and 5 columns to be printed, what I have to do? So here I have to mention the number of rows as 5. That's it. Simply, if you change the number of rows as 5, simply it will be printing total 5 number of rows and 5 number of columns is. Hope you are understanding the things. Okay. So here the number of A's and number of columns, number of rows and number of columns are equally printed A. So this is about the pattern which is going to print the equal number of which is going to print the pattern in equal number of rows and equal number of columns. Okay. So next one is, the next pattern is pattern number 2, this one. So this is our pattern number 2. See here, this is first row. First row only one asterisk is printing. Okay. This is second row, it is printing 2 asterisks. Means second row 2, third row 3 asterisks, fourth row 4 stars, fifth row 5 stars. Means depending upon the row number, it is printing. If you keenly observe this, if we are mentioning the row number here, it is printing the stars in this pattern. So let us move forward and check. So what is the changing factor over here? So what is the changing factor here is, for suppose, again I am typing for your understanding. So I am considering the rows as 5. Now the outer for loop for I in range. For I in range 1 comma rows plus 1. Okay. So the inner for loop, J is the inner for loop iterator that I am going to take. 1 comma, for suppose if I consider I plus 1. Okay, for J in range 1 comma I plus 1. Now here if I print the value of I, for suppose I am printing the value of I and giving end is equal to some space and then giving the print statement. Okay, now I am running this. Okay, so what I am getting 1, 2, 2 means the number of, see the number that I am printing here is the number of rows. So what I have to get? I have to get this particular pattern, asterisk. Now what I have to do? So in order to get that asterisk, if I give here asterisk, so if I give here asterisk and run the module, here I will be getting this particular pattern. This is pattern number 2. Okay, this is pattern number 2 that we got. So the pattern number 2 is printing the star symbol. For how many rows we are taking? This is the first row. So first row 1 star, second row 2 stars, third row 3 stars, like that. Okay. And what is the next pattern that we are having? So the next pattern is, for suppose I want to print all A's like this. So what we have to do now? Hope you understood what you have to do. Instead of printing asterisk, I have to give A. Okay. So now run. So if I give run, it will be printing. So if I want to print all ones, then instead of giving A, I have to give 1. So this is about pattern 3. Now, what is my pattern 4? So previously we have seen if I am writing instead of this particular asterisk or A or anything, but suppose if I am giving I, okay? If I am giving I, so it is going to print 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 3, 4, 4, 4, 5, 5, 5, 5. So how we are getting this particular pattern according to our program is, so let us consider this is our program. Now let us take the example here. For suppose, so from I value, let us consider from I value. So what is the I value first? What is the J value? So what is the print value that I am going to get? So what is the print value? Okay. So for the first iteration, I is starting from, so I is starting from 1. So how many rows I am taking? 5 rows. Instead, let us consider 3 first. So let us consider 3 first. So I rows plus 1 means here if I am considering rows is equal to 3. 1, 2, rows plus 1, 3. And 4 is excluded. So I will be repeating from 1, 2, 3. So what would be the J value is? So J value, let us now consider. Here, the first value of I is 1. If I am taking 1 here, now I am now initializing the I value to 1 here. And in the next step, now the control will be going to the next step. In the next step, so J will be ranging from, now my range of J is from 1 to I plus 1 means I is already 1. So 1 plus 1 means 1 to 2. Now the range is fixed. Now it will be entering into the loop if it is in the range. So J value is 1. So J value is 1 first. Okay. If the J value is 1, it has to print I. So what is the value of I here? The value of I is 1. So 1 will be printed here. Next, what it will be doing? Now increment the value of J. After the value of J is incremented, now the value of J will become 2. 2 has to be excluded. That is the reason it won't get run. It will be coming out of this loop and again executing the I value. Okay, incrementing the I value. So after incrementing the I value will be 2. Okay, and then I value will be 2. So I value will be 2. So I value is 2 means now I value is 2 means now what will be the range of J value? It is from 1 to 3. The J value range is from 1 to 3. See, every time whenever it is coming out of the inner loop, the values initialized prior will be erased. Means the scope of the variable J will be up to that particular block only. So remember that point. The scope of the variable J will be that particular point only. That is the reason it is going to change. So again, the J value will be initialized to 1. J value initialized to 1. And then what it has to do? It has to execute these statements. So printing of I. What is printing of I? 2 value it has to print. Okay. And then again, increment the J value to 2. Is it in the range? It will check. Yes, it is in the range. Then print what? It has to again print I. So this statement will be executed. So again, what is the I value? I value is 2. So it will be printing 2. For suppose now, after that, it will be incrementing the value to 3. 3 is excluded from that because the range excluding will be there here. 3 is excluded here. That is the reason it will be coming out of the loop and incrementing the value of I again. So the value of I which is incremented is 3. Now what happens is now the new range will be now different. So what is the new range of j will be? New range of j will be from 1 to 4. So now from starting from 1, the j value, it has to print the I values. So j is equal to 1, it is going to print the I value 3. Next j is equal to 2, it has to print the I value 3. Okay, next j is equal to 3, whether it is in the range or not, it will check. Okay, if it is in the range, then print the value of 3, means I. And again increment the value. 4 is excluded, now it is not accepting, come out of the loop. Okay, it will come out of the loop and execute the incrementing of I. So here, if I increment the value of I, it will be 4. Okay, so 4 is not in that range. If we are considering 3 number of rows, then 4 is not in the range. So the complete execution will get stopped here. So hope everyone is understanding the things. Okay, so now here if we give print I means depending upon the j range, it is going to print the I values. Okay, like that if we are considering the value as 5. Okay, if we are considering the value as 5, it is going to consider the I value from 1 to 6 and j value also depending upon the I value, it is going to change. So that is about the execution steps of this particular for loop. And this pattern is being executed like that. So the next pattern is here, the next pattern is this one. So, the next pattern is pattern 5. So we have seen pattern 4. The next pattern is pattern 5. So in pattern 5, see here, it is printing, this is first row, next one is first row, first element, second element. Means it is printing the j values, not the I values. So previous program, when the printing of instead of I, if we are going to change j. Okay. So, and if we run, we will be getting this 1, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So, if I is given, see, if I is given to print, it will print like this. The same number in multiple number of rows. If j is given, it will be incrementing the j value and printing the j value, how it is incremented. So, this is the fifth pattern. Okay. This is the fifth pattern. And the next one is about, the next pattern is about A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Okay. So here, what this pattern is all about is, for suppose, we all have generally ASCII values starting from capital A will be starting from 65. ASCII value of A is 65, B is 66, C is 67, and so on. Okay. Like that, you also have the D value as 68, E value as 69, F value as 70, like that, so on. Okay. So generally, these are the ASCII values. So why I am telling you this is, for suppose CHR of character of 65, if I am telling, then it will be yielding the value A. Okay. So CHR of means the character value of that integer. Okay. CHR means the character value of the integer. So here let us consider now our program here. For suppose the same program, if I am writing here, first I will erase the contents here. So if for the same program, if I am mentioning the values limit, say first I have given here the first one. Okay. I have given here from 1 to rows plus 1, right? From 1 to rows plus 1. Instead, if I give from 65 to 70, okay? 65 to 70. 65, we all know that the ASCII code of A, okay? From A to the value ending till the before number of 70 means till 69, it will be considering. So what it will consider and how it is going to consider, let us check now the constraints over here. So in the program, what we have to change? We are now checking what we have to change. No need of taking the rows here now. So simply you take here I in range from 65 to 70. For suppose I in range 65 to 70 if I am taking. And here if I am taking 65 to I plus 1. So whatever the, for suppose I value is 65 means here I plus 1 value will be 66. Like that I am taking, and here I have to change CHR of I. So if I am telling CHR of I, now let us run this. Okay. So it will be printing the corresponding ASCII value of the corresponding character value of that ASCII. Means integer value you are providing, for that integer value the corresponding alphabet that is associated with the ASCII code will be printed here. So A, B, B, C, 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 D, 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 E, 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 E. So like that it will be printed. For suppose now, so this is the pattern that we got now. So this is the sixth pattern that we are seeing. This is the pattern that we got now. And for suppose if we want like pattern 7 means here in the first row all A's, in the second, first row, first column all A's, second column all B's, third column all C's. Like that means this is column oriented. That is the reason we have to give J. Okay. So let us run this. I have changed it to J now, printing of J. And now let us run this. So we got. So this is about printing the patterns using the loops. So all the 7 patterns now, till now we have discussed, and we will be continuing with some array module and numpy modules, and also list comprehensions and set comprehensions in the later on classes. Okay, thank you.